The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards.
By the way, until there are arrests, I sleep. I need to see arrests. That's what I want. Until we get that.
And withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016.
I remember that.
They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a year's...
And to also create a new narrative of xenophobia against Russians. To reignite Cold War tensions, to create another oppositional relationship with a nation that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, would Crimea and Ukraine have happened if America hadn't done this? I mean, yeah, probably, right? But, like, I'm sure, I don't think it helped. I don't think that it helps the government, and I don't think it helps our international relations when we're making up bullshit about what other governments are doing. Fuck Russia? What? For how long? For how long are we going to just keep doing that? It's crazy.
Long coup against him and his administration.
Forever?
We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's...
I'm surprised that I'm getting any pushback on this. Isn't it obviously bad that you have the administration of a government that just makes up a lie about a foreign government? Wouldn't that obviously strain relations with that government? I feel like this is the most obvious common sense thing that I can say. Yeah, of course. And I don't think that's good at all. I think it's ultimately bad. Why would anybody be defending this at all? It doesn't mean that I like Russia, but needlessly antagonizing them with a lie is unnecessary, and it causes problems. It's an unforced error, especially when it's being done just to score political points. It's ridiculous. Why do you believe this lie? Because there hasn't been enough proof shown that Russia hacked the election, or they took it over, or they were able to take advantage and co-opt our election system. I don't think it happened.
Release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report.
By the way, I don't think the 2020 election was rigged either. I think it's just people complaining that it's rigged because they lost. Oh, I was lagging. No, he was aimbotting. They're cheating. No, you lost. You lost, and you're looking for somebody to blame. That's it. You can't accept that you lost, and so you have to figure out there's some sort of external thing that justifies why you fucked up. That's what I would say. Are you talking about the entirety of world history and governments lying about each other? History is written by the winners? Yeah, but usually winners don't needlessly start conflicts for no reason. They don't.
Report that we're releasing today all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization and manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated,
Yep.
ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency.
Damn, so they thought Hillary was going to win.
In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community...
So Putin was in on it? Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I bet we probably have bad information that makes Russia look bad, too, that we don't share.
Intentionally
Never play a card unless you have to. Why would you do that?
suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession
For
about
after
Hillary
she's
Clinton
in power.
until after her potential and likely victory.
Exactly.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign.
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they made this bullshit up to make Trump look bad? I think they absolutely did. If I was Obama, I'd probably want to do that shit too. Trump spent fucking 5 years talking about how Obama was from Kenya. Of course Obama's going to try to fuck Trump. Of course he's going to try. Absolutely. Yeah, bro, he spent fucking years going around telling everybody that you're a fucking Kenyan. Yeah, absolutely you're going to do that. Huh? Yes!
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence
You gotta be
of
honest. You
Hillary's,
gotta be
quote,
realistic.
psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled
saying
fits
the way
of
it
anger,
is.
aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
Hold up.
And cheerfulness, and that then of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
Huh.
Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
That sucks, bro. Like, that's... Damn. It's sad. Yeah, she crazy. Yeah, she a crazy bitch, bro. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. They had to put this bitch on tranquilizer? Think about that. You gotta do that for like a bull.
Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious, substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump. Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing...
Well, it wasn't even that Putin developed a clear preference. It was that back then, Hillary Clinton was like way harsher on saying negative stuff about Russia. She was. She went way harder on Russia. And one of the different reasons why I think people voted for Trump in 2016 is that Trump didn't want to escalate tensions between Russia and the U.S. So it would logically make sense that, at least from the Russian perspective, Trump would be more preferential, at least from a public perspective. Yeah, this was, correct. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing this happen. I was there.
Debunked Steele dossier.
No, they didn't. They absolutely did. What do you mean? Who else was there? Who else remembers this?
To assess, quote unquote, Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump.
Man.
Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the ICA's claim as implausible, if not ridiculous. The intelligence community assessment...
So why wouldn't they try to get Trump elected? Simple. It's because if they interfered in the election, it would be too high risk of an action, and it would cause too much blowback if it was discovered. They also might not have had the technology or the ability to do it with a 100% certainty to get away with it, and it's unpredictable. That's the reason why. Yeah, like, I mean, again, and so that's the same reason why Putin released it so naive. No, you're actually the one that's naive because you're not thinking about this. You're thinking about this one step ahead. There's a reason why Putin has been in charge of Russia for like 30 years. It's because he's extremely intelligent, he's brutal, cunning, and I just think it's crazy how many people that he doesn't like that end up dying. Isn't that weird? How does that happen? Yeah, he's an ex-KGB agent. Like, he's not stupid at all. And so anyway, like, basically, the reason why he didn't release the negative stuff about Hillary Clinton is because he was worried that there's a chance or a probability that it could also galvanize the public against Russia because they could see Russia as now attacking Hillary Clinton, and then it could have the opposite effect. Whereas if he released it when she was president, it would have a guaranteed effect of negatively impacting her. And also he could use that for leverage later on down the road against her directly. Whereas whenever she's not the president, you can't use that for leverage. Bullshit? No, it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's common sense. Like, just think about it. Think about it. Never play a card unless you have to. Yeah, it's an ace up the sleeve. Yeah, you never go and do that. Yeah, it's blackmail 101. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm surprised that so many people... A lot of people don't understand anything beyond basic cause and effect, and even that's hard for people to understand. But there are oftentimes decisions that people make where they lose a battle to win a war. And I think that's very clearly what his perspective is. Yeah, it's wasteful playing it early. You need to ban these idiots. They're doing this shit on purpose to distract. I just think that people don't understand the way that you make decisions this way, right? Why are you surprised? Do you understand actual subversion? I think I do. I think that I have a better understanding of it than most people, at least. I don't think I understand it as well as Putin does, but based off of what his decisions were, it seems like they made sense based off of my understanding of subversion. It does. I spent a lot of time on the internet, you know, playing games, dealing with people in business with stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not a wizard. Like, there's people that know a lot more about it than I do, but I bet if you ask them, they'd say the same thing I am. Go ask them.
Omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were, quote-unquote, planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton would respect Russia's interests. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election.
Yep.
On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency.
And that's the thing, too, is that even if they thought Putin was trying to get Trump elected, they didn't have a reason to... They didn't have a defined reason. It was just like a guess. If they do arrest him, I would be shocked. But we'll see what happens, right? I mean, I don't know. And let's see here. Operation No, Obama was finding it out there. Says he committed treason.
Months leading up to the November 2016 election, concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th.
We've been listening there to the Director of
Yeah,
National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but
He's
releasing...
doing everything he can to distract people, dude. Well, I feel like you can always say that he's trying to distract from the Epstein documents, but in my opinion, like, if you tried to manufacture a conspiracy as the sitting president to delegitimize the next president and like to basically blame it on a foreign power, I feel like that kind of, I don't know, is that treason or not, but I feel like that should be against the law. I mean, it's definitely you did something wrong, didn't you? It's pretty fucking obvious. Yeah, like Biden, it's way bigger. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's treason because you're not, it's seditious. Yeah, it's something like that. And so, yeah, totally jail worthy. Yeah, absolutely.
They believe that no one, especially the president, is above the law.
Well, we're going to find out how true that really is.
We will be releasing further documents tomorrow that will refute that statement. And I would go back and point to, and we will be pulling a whole host of statements that were made by the Obama administration, by Hillary Clinton, by senior Democrat officials, by their friends in the media that state over and over again after this January 2017 manufactured intelligence document was created that repeat the narrative. And I'm looking at my notes here. New York Times says Russian hackers acted to aid Trump in the election. Obama's CIA Director John Brennan says there is strong consensus among us to support the CIA claim Russian hackers aided Donald Trump's election. Hillary Clinton said, I would be president if not for the Russian hackers supporting Donald Trump. So there is a vast body of evidence and intelligence that debunks and refutes this statement you've just read and others coming from some of the Democrat leaders in Congress today.
Man,